Hey guys, welcome to Brains, Brawn, and BS, where we try to improve the lives of our listeners by connecting the dots between physical and financial wellness while discussing the shit that actually matters in life. Hey guys, welcome to Brains, Brawn, and BS, where we try to improve the lives of our listeners by connecting the dots between physical and financial wellness while discussing the shit that actually matters in life. My name is Luke. I will be your fitness consultant, if you will, today. I'm joined by my co-host, Scott, who is my business counterpart. Thanks for joining the podcast today, guys. Now, Scott, let me ask you something here. What does a healthy person look like to you?
Oh, God. You threw me off on that one. So healthy
No, just your honest opinion.
Yeah.
Your honest opinion. What do you think?
Honest opinion. So, of course, you got people that are overweight and such, but at the same point, technically, sometimes they can still be healthy, from what I know. I'm not the big health guy, but I guess you would say, physically slimmer, possibly have muscles, and really it's kind of hard to delineate aside from those outward factors because health takes a lot of different forms on the inside too. You can't really know if the person's eating correctly or whatever.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's my opinion, at least.
Okay, good. So that was not bad at all. You said exactly what most people think and what I wanted you to say, right? Because a healthy person is really a hard topic to define, right? Just so you guys know, my portion of the discussion today is going to be centered around something we all love to do. I mean, we're all absolutely super pumped about it, and that's cardiovascular endurance, or betterwise known as its abbreviated term, cardio, right? In essence, guys, cardio is the ability of your heart and lungs to pump blood and oxygen. Blood contains nutrients, right? They go around your body, they rotate, they keep systems and functions working properly. And cardio is one of those things where we all know we need to do it, right? Everybody knows that. I think if I bumped into someone on the street and I was like, hey, is cardiovascular exercise important in general? They would say, most people would say yes, right? And it's one of those things that is crucial, but we all hate to do, right? And I can attest to that. I mean, I've had a number of clients who just, outwardly, they appear to be in great shape, right, guys? They look good, they have muscles, they're slimmer, they have a lower body fat composition, but boy, people hate to do cardio. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, Scott. And leading into that, right? Cardio is something that is not salient, right? It's not visible. You can't see if someone is in great shape cardiovascular wise by looking at them. You really can't tell. You could make a guess, right? But you don't know. I mean, smaller, bigger, lean, it doesn't matter, right? It's not something that you can see, and that is why is one of the most underutilized and underfocused components of fitness, but we all know about it, right? I'm not going to be able to tell if your heart and lungs are working efficiently and you're in great shape from that perspective unless we go to the doctor, we do a couple scans, we run some tests, etc.
Well, I don't know.
Or I have
to tell you, if I see someone smoking like a fucking freight train, I have a pretty good idea.
You might have, and that's one of those things, right? You might have a hint.
Some people have brilliantly clear lungs after they've been smoking for years. I don't know how the hell it happens, but it happens.
I'm definitely not gonna touch that stick even with a 10-foot pole, but that's one of those things where you're like, how is this possible, right? Yeah. But for most people, we can all agree, right? Smoking is bad, and cardio is important. Scott, like I said, you kind of hit the point right on the head there when you described that healthy person. You didn't really touch on their heart and lungs at all, right? Because that's not one of those visible components that is so easy to detect and see. We're all focused on, the muscles, the body type. We want to get abs. We want to do this. We want the biceps, right?
Right.
but that is overlooking such a fundamental and crucial part of fitness and well-being just as a person. You need your heart to keep pumping until the day, and it will, until literally the day you die, right? We want to prolong that. We want to keep you in as good shape as long as possible. And that's why cardio cannot be overlooked, right, guys? Nice muscles and having a good aesthetic is it's good to have, right?
Oh yeah.
But without the cardio component, it is nothing. You are a shell, right? Because what's going on inside your body, that is much more important, right? That is a huge component, and it cannot be ignored. Now, Scott, I know you kind of wanted to bounce off a couple business topics that relate to cardio and the fact that cardiovascular endurance exercise, things like jogging, running, cycling, rowing, swimming, these things, they require constant upkeep. And I think you want to relate that kind of to a business point or topic. Is that right?
Yeah, no, I do. And, I'm a lazy son of a bitch. So honestly, I'm not a huge fan of cardio.
That's not true.
And if I do start it, I end up not being consistent. So the other week I started Insanity with a couple of residents at the place that I work. And, I went through a week of it, then was like, oh, this is great. And then slacked for a day, and then did it again for another 3 days, and then it trickled away, and I'm like, God, it's just one of those
It's hard to keep it up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's brutal. Cardio's brutal.
It freaking is.
No doubt about it.
No doubt. But one of the big things that, the way cardio works when it comes to business is pretty interesting. I did find a pretty cool connection with it. All right. First you said that, people don't want to do it. Well, you're right.
Correct.
A lot of people don't want to do it because it's tough, but it's critical.
It is tough.
One of the big things when it comes to business that I can relate it to is sales. Straight up sales. And if you really look at it, the sales is actually more of the heart when it comes to the business. Pumping that lifeblood into the business, whereas the cash is the oxygen that's getting, pushed through the different portions of the business,
I could see that.
Feeding the cells and everything, because you have different parts of your business that obviously all require cash. And
Correct.
One of the biggest things I want you guys to take away from this podcast, from the business side, sales equals income. Again, sales equals income. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of small businesses fail because they're undercapitalized or they don't have enough sales. People say, oh, I have a dream of opening a business. Well, that's fantastic. What are you going to do? I'm going to open up a shop. It's going to have a nice sign. People are going to come. Skirt. Bullshit. The only way people are going to come is if you sell. Now, sometimes this is on the business owner side where they're a sole proprietor. They're the only ones working the business, or maybe they hire their son to actually go in and do some sales work as well. Either way, if the sales do not happen, if you do not get in front of people, that business will fail. All right? One thing I just heard that's very interesting is the CEO of GE said that they are very close to a negative cash flow position. Now, I'm not one for, a lot of math, but I'm pretty astute when it comes to positives and negatives. If you're in a negative cash flow position, Luke, what health-wise, can you relate that to?
Sure. I mean, I would consider a negative cash flow position in a business to kind of someone who maybe doesn't make their health a priority, right? And since we're on the topic of cardio, again, it's crucial, right? And it needs upkeep, it needs work, it needs consistent attention and care to keep that business or that person thriving internally.
100%. And you know what I actually attribute the negative cash flow to mostly is fucking hemorrhaging.
Go for it.
Bleeding
All
out.
Right. Very specific. I like that.
If you are in a negative cash flow position, your business is legitimately dying. Another thing that, what grinds my gears? These
Oh, God, here we
freaking,
go.
I know, right? But these freaking businesses that come out with negative earnings that get pumped up. Like, check this out, Lyft. This is a seriously crucial point. Lyft has just stated that they will be doing an IPO. And in the public offering documents, they state that they have never and do not know when they are going to be at a positive cash flow position.
Wow.
They have brought in...
No speculation even.
They brought in, let me see, $2 billion in sales so far and have losses of
Pretty
over
hefty.
$900 million.
Jesus.
One thing I can tell you is happening right now is these venture capitalists, they know what's going to happen in the market coming up here. They're very astute, and I'm not going to go into that now. But these venture capitalists are using the IPO as a way to cash out prior to them losing their shirt on the investment.
Oh, no doubt.
They're going
no
to
doubt.
dump that shit on the public. Get excited, boys and girls.
That's one of those things that we're going to be touching on a lot in this podcast, Scott. That's an opportunity for those with the eye to see it, right? While this is kind of a negative situation as a whole, when we're talking about Lyft and maybe their IPO decision and their earnings, but if you're looking out for opportunities, there's always people in the market looking to cash out on things like this,
yes.
right?
And now, one thing I do have to bring up is we do not give investment advice. We do not sell anything. We do not tell you to buy anything.
Correct.
This is not something that we do. We are here as an education company. Period. That is all we do. We want you to see different sides of the coin.
It's about perspective.
It's about perspective, and do not take what we say and just run with it and say, "Oh, this is brilliant. This is exactly it." No, that's bullshit too. Do your own research and ask us questions.
Educate yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ask us questions. Post in the comments. We're gonna have this on YouTube, guys. Put some comments in the doobly-doo right below, and we'll answer your questions. And just one more point before I kind of went into a rant there, but
No, it was good. I think it was helpful.
yeah. But when it comes to consistency, right? So I've been in sales for a number of years, sales and direct marketing, and we'll talk more about those later on at some point. But the big thing is that you have to maintain consistency. I just started learning how to wholesale properties recently, and I'm working with a mentor. And I got to tell you, if you want to learn a new skill doing anything, always find a mentor because they can help you.
100%.
But essentially, the one thing he told me is consistency. My sales managers from prior positions I had held, consistency. And it didn't really sink in until a little later on. And when it did, man, boom. I was throwing down selling some pierogies, right? Or just doing whatever I was doing. But if you are not maintaining consistency, getting in front of people, sales equals cash, but sales equals communication. That is it. Get in front of people.
That was
get
good.
in front of your target, talk to them, and tell them how you can improve their life. That way, the sales or the heart continues to beat, and it's pumping that cash, i.e. the oxygen, through your business's veins and helping it to grow. Mic drop.
Extremely well said, Scott. I mean, I'm going to have to, piggybacking off that point there, I'm going to have to go ahead and go to a Navy SEAL saying, which is the only easy day was yesterday, right? And that's both in sales.
I love it.
That's business. And guess what? That's fitness too, brother. Because the second you rest on your laurels, so to speak, and you just kind of hang back and like, oh, that was a good quarter, that was a good workout, that was a good week, that was a good year, you're done, right? You need consistent improvement, work, progression,
100%.
Development, or you're going nowhere fast. You know what I mean? Both cardio and sales, as you said, I mean, these are things that are pivotal, that are hard, but can be mastered with the right amount of training, practice, and development. And like you said, it's the lifeblood of any business, right? I don't care who you are. You're selling, right? We'll tirade here. As an individual, you are selling, whether it's for a company, for yourself, in relationships, businesses, negotiation. I mean, you are selling yourself to the world as a human. I mean, that is a pivotal part of life, and we could all work to be better at both sales and cardio, come to think of it. And, I'd like to go back to that story you kind of illustrated earlier, Scott, when you were speaking about the hypothetical shop owner who opens up. He's like, oh, we're doing all this marketing. We have this business. And hold on. Behind closed doors, we figured out, we were looking at the balance sheet, sales aren't so good, or the income statement. We're not doing too hot. Yet on the outside looking in, you may think, oh, look at this beautiful little ice cream stand. It looks so cute. There's people stopping by. It looks great. But hey, behind closed doors, again, we come back to inside the body. Upon further examination, without that consistent sales upkeep and that training and that development, going out there and just getting after it every single day,
yep.
that business and your body will fail, period.
And one thing that I would like to bring up is when it comes to actually seeing how something is doing, like let's say in order to see how a body is doing, a doctor can't just look at it. He's got to go to the vital signs, got to check blood pressure, got to check your heart rate, pulse, everything.
Yep.
He's got to check your respirations. All the majority of the tests are for the inside, so they can get numbers and figure out what's going on.
Correct.
Same in a business, but instead of vital signs, it's called accounting. Well said. If you are going to be in business, you need to just take a basic course. Go to a community freaking college, or just go to what did I do it on? Freaking Khan Academy, man. Free stuff, right?
There we go.
100%.
I used to use that.
Gotta give them a shout out. But go and figure out and learn about double entry bookkeeping and understand how the numbers work, because opportunities are not seen with the eyes. They are seen with the numbers. And just by learning how to read those numbers, you're going to put yourself way ahead of all the people who are working the rest of their lives for a paycheck.
That's right, Scott. Beautiful point. I think the kind of the point of this podcast, guys, while we're going to go over a broad range of topics in the business space and the fitness wellness space, the whole point is to to encourage individuals to learn, to be self-sufficient, to have the financial freedom and the physical freedom to be independent, do what you want, and be happy. We want you to spend your time how you want to spend it. Yep. Scott, real quick, what I'm going to do is, guys, we just went ahead and we created an Instagram page, right? We are Brains, Brawn, and BS on Instagram. Go ahead and search that out. Give us a follow. I'm gonna be posting all the episodes on that page. You can see updates for the podcast, see what we're doing, and we're gonna be putting out some consistent content over there. So once again, follow us on Instagram, Brains, Brawns, and BS.
Brains, Brawn. No,
Brawn. That's right. Cut the S out. Let me see here. Did we hit everything, Scott? Well, I think we might have.
Yeah, no, we did hit everything. But like everything when it comes to the content, one thing I want to make sure that you guys, that we can't reiterate enough, guys, listen, this is an education podcast. A lot of times we're going to talk about stuff you're not going to understand right away. But as you listen to it over and over again, listen to the same, podcast 2-3 times, it takes 45 minutes out of your life to help improve your education on health and financial or business education. We're here to help you. Post questions on the Instagram. Thank God Luke's doing it, because I suck at social media. But one thing I can do and do know is, of course, face-to-face marketing, that sort of shit. So if you have questions, let us know, because we want to help you learn. And hey, Luke, later on we may start answering your questions on air. I don't know. Just saying.
There we go. Correct.
Pretty interesting.
That'd be a good idea.
But
that would be a great idea.
Awesome. But that's it for me, man.
All right, sweet guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Brains, Brawn, and BS. I slapped the S out of there, Scott. I don't know if you noticed. Remember, guys, repetition is key when it comes to cardio and your business. Take care. Keep learning.